Hello, my name is Natasha Kurchanova. I'm the curator of the exhibition Who is Afraid of Ornament, on view in Nurture Art Gallery in Williamsburg from April 23rd to May 29th. I came up with the idea of this exhibition because I was interested in what is happening with ornament and decoration and contemporary art, dominated by a strong legacy of conceptualism. I thought that it would be refreshing to put together a show which would be on the surface and easily readable in purely visual terms. I chose 10 artists, mostly from New York, but also from as far away as Turkey, Colorado, and California, who I felt used decoration and ornament in more than supplementary way. They work in different media, but for all of them, the visual attraction of the surface is not mere embellishment, something external added to the outside, but is the main component of the work. Lily White is fascinated with birds, who often acquire a mythic status in her works. In this video Gotcha, for example, the raven takes the central stage as a creator of human beings and a mediator between life and death. In Gotcha, the bird leaps and a change takes place. Leaps, whether physical or those of faith, have the lightness of a feather. The video's moving pictures play against painted glyphs of the Chinese radical for feather on the installation's fabric screen. These glyphs represent the same evolved character and have two identical forms that resemble wings. Chinese writing bridges or leaps, the gap between abstract linguistic thinking and the concrete visuality of a pictogram. For this exhibition, Lily made an installation of a video and 3 paintings based on her interest in birds and experience traveling in Arizona and finding ancient glyphs whose meaning was suggestive, clear at times but at times obscured by centuries. Lily transfers these glyphs onto the medium of video, but does so by integrating them with visual effects specific to this medium, such as pixelated color bands, for example. She combines the permanence of myth and a historical trace with technology. The result is an image that provides a sense of permanence, even if it is composed of something as fleeting and inherently transmutable as a digital code. Corinne Whitaker, also known as Digital Giraffe, lives in Palo Alto and has been making computer art for decades. Her images, all digitally created, also reflect the new view of existence brought to us by technology. Whitaker creates each piece entirely on the computer, which she has been using for 29 years without any scanning of photography. Each is a unique piece. The substrate, canvas or plexiglass, is determined by the subject matter. Fireworks in Vortex, for example, are created in computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing programs, and processed in a way that gives them an extra luminescence. The colors actually seem to change depending on the light around them. The Turkish artist Ardan Osmanoglu works in various media, but mostly with prints. Regardless of whether she is making a print, a sculpture, or an installation, the logic of the multiple has been the guiding force of her credo. Within this preoccupation with reproduction and repetition, printing, especially screen printing, has become her medium of choice. The process of making a screen print is both precise and experimental. It requires careful preparation, but also allows for unplanned elements to enter the composition, such as accidental smudges and spills, which become part of the work. It is this double nature of the screen printing process, its orientation to technological precision and its openness to chance, that fascinate the artist. In this piece, Things on My Mind, Ardan used decorative patterns from mosques to create a multicolored installation of prints that cascade down from the ceiling of the gallery and create a sort of an arch through which and around which the visitors can walk. Although inherently decorative, Ardan's installation became an integral part of the architectural space, like a column or an arch, and not a mere surface addition. Carla Cubitt contributed 2 sculptures to the exhibition, Guitar and Life. She made them when she lived in a squat in East Village near Tompkins Square Park. She used the materials at hand, some found in the street, some given by friends, to craft these incredibly fine objects decorated with religious and anarchist symbols. Life in particular is a tribute to an abandoned building occupied by squatters, which was called just that. Carla lived in that building for a period of time and made the sculpture to honor its inhabitants. Her work has a quiet medieval feeling to it because of its strongly pronounced tactile quality. Despite years that passed since it was made, her sculpture retains its appeal because of the authenticity of materials and her artistic skill. Meredith Pingree made an outdoor sculpture for this exhibition. Wormholes is the name of the piece. Like in her other work, here, Meredith creates mutable geometric structures that are or have potential to be kinetic and reactive. These structures are based on complex mathematical patterns that may look like something natural or organic. Pingree creates things that mimic life, like a single-celled organism or ivy climbing a wall. In Wormholes, squares of steel mesh connect with zip ties and wire. They begin to torque and turn themselves inside out to create an unconventional latticework above the wall of the building. Evan Reilryer is interested in body underside of life and in the convergence of the high medium of painting and the low subject matter. Although his works might appear shocking, it's easy to trace his interest in undulating line, bright patterning, and decorative surface to Matisse. Frequently, he uses ornamental features as humorous or tongue-in-cheek emblems, as in the case of Daisy Chain. Linda Ganjian's work is a city made out of incredibly fine paper cutouts, which are scored, curled, and displayed in three-dimensional space. They represent calligraphy of an extinct pre-Islamic alphabet called Avestan, which is also the name of the piece. With the extinct Avestan letters serving as the basis for templates, the paper creates an array of intricate and diminutive sculptures that are then carefully arranged on a landscape-like surface. The work resembles an architectural model, with plazas culminating in central monuments. The landscape also reminds us of a contemporary city. There are aspects of the cityscape and computer architecture embedded in the design. Ultimately, Avestan is a sculpture that presents Ganjian's personal utopian architectural vision through melding the decorative and structural. Catherine Daniels grew up in West Virginia and was first introduced to color, line, and form from her mother's sewing and knitting. Now she creates sculptures with the materials and techniques of sewing that became second nature for her. She uses the beads along with found and recycled materials. The nature that she creates in her work is imagined, not real. In Full Blossom Bed, Catherine uses images of a garden to convey an idea of paradise. In general, she is interested in the idea of paradise as it is found in religions, art, and literature, as a garden of beauty and peace that expresses the human need to create and cultivate beauty as a counter to our acts of destruction. Shelley Himmelstein's sockscapes, as she calls them, are inspired by the rich visuals and excitement of the Soccer World Cup. In 1998, she made a series of drawings superimposing and juxtaposing elements of the televised images, some accentuated, others suppressed, to reflect the tensions and spirit of the matches. Starting from a work completed during a live transmission of a match, she further examines its motives and expressive values in canvas, and more recently with wool. She likes working with wool because of the material's potential to balance skill with chance. The little fluffs and strands of dyed wool interact with each other as the artist massages and fuses them using a wet felting technique. The very process of making these artworks is revealed by the visible and intertwining elements of color, line, and form. In field number 11, ceramic artist Sahai Johnson uses the framework of decorative wallpaper to investigate overlaps and relationships that explore traditional boundaries between labor and pleasure, public and private. In these works, she relates to the realities and expectations of home life, the close juxtaposition of labor and pleasure in domestic space, and finally an exploration of how the logic and organizing principle of pattern and ornament can create order out of chaos.